What's up, everybody? It's Uncle Jude once again. I didn't complete the journey of my journey with cancer the last time. It was cut short a bit because of the noise outside. But I'm chilling on a Thursday morning, early in the morning, ready to make some butter biscuits for the family when they get back from school. So I thought I'll just share the end of that journey or as much as I can. There's a lot to say and there's a lot to explain, and I don't want to rush about it. I want to be able to express myself in the way I know best. But before that, I just want to give a shout out to some people that I've made contact with over the past couple of days and weeks. Helen, it was so nice chatting to you from New Zealand. Technology is a beautiful thing. We haven't chatted in many years, over 20 years, over 30 years, I think. And we grew up in the same street together in St. Patrick's Road in Mzinto. So big ups to you, Sean Wallen, Helen's brother. Thank you for hooking up with me and chatting a bit. Dean Bellion, Dino, my man, my Eminem. It's so nice hooking up with you again and chatting to you. And I said something on the last video, me going back into time and going back to the past. I'm making a lot of contact with people that I have had relationships with way back when I was in my teens and in my 20s, a time in my life where we were very carefree and we trusted individuals with our lives. I've learned to go back and try to figure out how come we trusted these individuals, these people that were in our lives, our brahas, our family, that were so, our love was unconditional. So going back into time, touching base with people in the past that saw us for what we really were at the time and didn't judge us. And it's so nice to reminisce and reflect in the past and go back and to check and dig up and find out a little bit more and to see where those folk are and to touch base and to just share your experiences over the time lapse that we've had. But going back to this journey that I've been having with cancer, it's my mind at the moment and from the time that I was given the diagnosis of being positive with thyroid cancer, I was speaking about positivity. I always had this one phrase in my mind. I can't remember where I got it from, but it said, and it speaks like this, and it says, positive thoughts create positive actions. Positive thoughts create positive actions. So I'm not sure where I picked that up from, but it stuck in my mind. And at the time when I was given the diagnosis and I spoke about me changing from positive to negative, or from negative to positive rather, having this positive mindset. When I explained, the kids were too small at the time. Josh was nearly 2, and Jade was almost going on to 4. And so the kids I couldn't understand, to be quite honest. Dad wasn't well, that's it. Narissa was busy working on a career. And I was working on my career at the time and trying to climb the corporate ladder because thinking at that specific time that was the right thing to do, to build your career so you could earn more, so you could build a better house and a better lifestyle and just get the things that you always wanted that you couldn't have back in the day. So we were concentrating so much on building our household, and now we were hit with a curveball. So it wasn't just my cancer, it was a cancer that affected the entire household. And it was a curveball really at the time, but maintaining a positive mindset was important. Then the decision came as to radiation and chemotherapy, and I was given the opportunity to be referred to Professor Jan D. Esser, a nuclear professor that studies nuclear medication, an oncologist of note. Professor Esser has been practicing in the East Rand for many years. He studied at the University of Witwatersrand. Still does significant studies and experimental research through nuclear medication. Still at that university, he's my mad scientist. And I'll speak more about Dr. Jan Esser going forward. I've spoken to him last week. I was sitting in his rooms for my checkup, and I asked him quite humbly if I could do a recording with him to explain from a nuclear medical perspective how he perceived my decision to stop treatment and how he looked at me as a patient, and to explain nuclear medication to the public at large. I don't think many people understand nuclear medication, how it works. I don't think many people understand radioactivity, radiology, radium. And I'm going to. He's agreed for me to interview him. He's 73 years old. He looks like Gandalf, just with short hair. The eyebrows are there, and he's one of these gentlemen that still wears a blazer, a grey pants, a white shirt, and a tie with black shoes. And I can't wait to interview him. He wants me to do a video for him as well to distribute to people that he knows in New York that well, anyway, that's a story for another day. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that interview. And speaking about radium and radiology, I have been doing some research on a lady by the name of Marie Curie. She was born in the late 1800s and discovered the element of radium, which is very important in radiology and radiation treatment. So check it out, read up about Marie Curie, and you'll understand how radiation assists in therapy, all kinds of therapy, and how dangerous and how hazardous radiation can be. I mean, Marie Curie's paperwork and recipe books, similar to what I have in front of me, has to be isolated for 1,500 years before any human being can touch it, because of the amount of radiation that she had exposed to her and the things that were around her. So radiation, a good thing and a dangerous element at the same time. But my journey again referred to Dr. Esser, or Professor Esser. And then he explained to me about me having my thyroid gland completely removed now. I had to get my thyroid gland completely removed. How do you function without an organ? How do you cope now without an organ that regulates your metabolism, how fast and how slow you function? I knew about thyroid functionality because of mom's experience with thyroid, and she was on chronic thyroid medication, so I did a bit of research on that already. Now I had to go and remove my thyroid because the thyroid gland was the source of where the cancer nodes were being developed. I try to put it as simple as possible. So he explained to me that, okay, that's my windpipe. Your thyroid gland is in that position, so on. This is vanilla essence. Your thyroid gland is there. So they have to remove your thyroid gland completely and expose your windpipe, and your voice box is also very close to that. And they'll leave a sliver of thyroid, a tiny paper thin, probably piece of thyroid left, so it doesn't affect your voice box. Now, thinking about the chances of losing your voice because your thyroid gland can be removed, exposing your voice box, which can affect your speech, which can affect your voice completely, how you speak, how you sound, how you sing. I love music. I am music. My life is music. I believe my life is a song. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with somebody telling you I have to remove your thyroid gland and leave a sliver of thyroid so it doesn't affect your voice box? And at the time we were deeply involved, Narasa and I, in music at the place of worship that we were, and she was singing and I was singing, and we were loving music and enjoying ourselves, being able to express ourselves vocally. And now you've got to get rid of your thyroid, and it could affect your voice. The choice you're going to have to make. But anyway, it was spontaneous for me. I knew that I had to do it in order to live. I had a lot to live for. I had many to live for. I had a lot to do. So the choice was spontaneous, regardless of the consequences I would expect at the time. I didn't care whether I would lose my voice as long as I was there for my kids and my wife. I didn't care really. It was a sacrifice I was willing to make to be there for them. I could, as long as they could see me, and I could see them and hear them, I didn't have to speak really. So I took that choice of removing my thyroid gland, went through the entire operation of removing your thyroid gland. Now, that left me with a significant scar that ran across my entire neck. I asked the doctor, how did I look on the operating table because of my inquiring mind, and he said, you look like Frankenstein with your neck wide open like that and exposed. And we were busy filling in the blanks, so taking out some puzzle pieces from my neck and closed me up and then stapled me all the way around. The staples, when I was done, really looked like Frankenstein. I hope I can find it somewhere. Those pics were on a hard drive somewhere. I made sure I documented those stages, taking those pictures, making sure that one day I can look back and remember what I went through in order to be here. I didn't look at it as if woe is me. I now am sick. I need help. Please feel sorry for me. No, man. I literally gave everything, or the cancer at the time, a big that. So it was very exciting for me to go through this journey to understand what my mother could have went through, because now I had exactly the same scar that she had. It was like she was imprinting on me or branding me, from the heavens above, if there is such a place. But anyway, it was a lengthy operation, getting my thyroid taken out and leaving the silver there. My stay in hospital was lengthy as well, because of the severity of the cancer at the time. 2 years prior to me removing my thyroid gland, I removed my tonsils. And I was already in my 30s, and I had to remove my tonsils, and it was the most painful, excruciating thing I ever went through. That and another op that I'll explain many episodes from now. But anyway, my tonsils were disintegrated as soon as they took it out. It just was mushy, and it was nothing. It wasn't solid like a normal tonsil would be. And for the life of me, I understand now, maybe it could have been connected with my thyroid at the time. It could have infected my tonsils for it to just break up and disintegrate when operated on. That was unusual. But anyway, thyroid was taken out. Was at home. Was at home recovering. I think I was at home for 6 weeks, recovering from the operation. No therapy done yet, just surgical removals. And went back to work. Back on my R6 motorcycle. Scarf around my entire neck. I literally look like Frankenstein. I look like Frankenstein. And went back to work. And took it easy. I was so fortunate that my manager was a chick that went to school with me, Antonia Oaks, now Alexander. She was my manager, and it was like the universe putting things together for me at the time, bringing people from your hometown, from your old school, from Mamsinto High School. That's where we met and were acquainted ourselves. And now she's my manager. Very understanding. Took it to management, explained to them the severity of my disease, of the disease rather, not my disease, of the disease. My staff at the time that I was privileged to be leader over was so sympathetic and but at the time, I was newly married, right? Newly married. And Narissa and I were married for 3 years, right? And I was diagnosed with cancer. My wife was going through a difficult time. We might be the cancer carriers. The individual that carries the cancer or has the tumor are the carriers. I believe those that are carrying tumors are carrying the tumors because we are strong people. I don't think any one of my siblings will have been able to carry a tumor of the nature that I had. So you are a strong individual, but we just strong individuals because we are able to carry that tumor. The people around us our families, our husbands, our wives, our children, our connected people that are close to us are the ones that are most affected by the disease. We physically affected. Our families and our loved ones are emotionally affected. I tried to block out the fact that I was going through this process. I tried to just pretend and push it aside and say, it's one of those things. Just a typical man, that says, no, I'm not sick. I'm not going to go to the doctor. I'll just manage it out. I did that. I carried on riding my motorcycle. I carried on going to gym. Very light workout. And Narasa was constantly telling me to chill. And I didn't really listen at the time. I regret that now, and I should have listened. But everything happens for a reason. And sometimes we make stupid decisions because of our immaturity. Narasa looked at me as a man that she was going to lose, something that was going to go away from her. Narasa literally started living when we got married. She'll explain that to you someday, somehow, but this is what we share. She started living when we got married. And when I was diagnosed and started going through all these operations of removal of tumors and of organs, she thought I was going to die. I pretended to be well, but I wasn't really well. I was positive-minded. Nothing wrong with that. But I wasn't accepting reality and the fact that I was unwell and the fact that I had a disease in me that could have killed me. And the person that was most closest to me was being affected most adversely by my diagnosis. And it was, when I look back now of how I reacted and how I reacted towards Narasa as my wife, many of us as, maybe I should speak for myself, I wanted to pretend as if nothing was there. I wanted everything to just carry on as if it was normal. No one should have a pity party for me. There should be no ahs for me. I just want everybody to carry on as normal, I didn't want any change, but I didn't realize that it affected these people, especially my wife and my loved one, so much. It was a bit selfish of me, and for that I apologize profusely. I should have considered you first and considered how you felt as well, because we are joined. We're all joined. This is not just an individual thing that we do living on this earth and just trying to make a career, go to school, work your life to the bone, and then die and you go to heaven. No, we created for a bigger purpose, and we created for a bigger journey. The universe is such a massive thing, and the solar system is so huge that we are just like a drop, not even a drop in the ocean. A drop is too big. We minute, we're minuscule in the bigger picture of things. There's so many things out there that we don't know of, and we think we're all that. So we need to start understanding that being together and joined as one is very important. It's almost like the Avatar movie. That's how I'd like to live my life, like the Avatar movie, where you're at the Tree of Souls and everybody's connected into one with the earth and with the universe and with the skies and with everybody together. And when we start learning to understand that, we will start learning to react differently and be able to understand that other people's feelings count as well. So, yeah, she was adversely affected, very much so, and had to now get my staples removed at the surgeon's rooms. Got the staples removed, healing process, took it easy, lost a lot of weight. At the time, I was heading towards close to between 90 and 95 kgs. At our wedding, Narasa used to always laugh at me because I used to go for fittings for my suit, and my suit was down in Durban. My dad was making my suit at Mac Taylor's down in Durban town. And every time I used to go down to Durban to get my fittings done, they had to broaden my shoulders because I was putting on consistent size. So maxing from I was maxing about 95 kgs, and then my weight just dropped. After my first operation, the removal of the little tumor that was growing out, my weight started to drop significantly. After my thyroid operation, all of a sudden I blew up. I was swollen. I was horribly swollen. And I didn't look nice. And I thought I was putting on weight, but I was retaining so much of water from the ops and all of that because of the amount of pills that I was taking. Got the staples removed, and now the journey of radiation. Radiation or chemotherapy. What do you do? Radiation or chemotherapy? And Professor Esser explained to us the benefits of radiation. He explained to us the diversity of the type of cancer that I had, where the nodes were, where the tumors were, how we're going to attack the tumors through radiation, how the radiation process goes. Now, when you go into, when you are given radioactive therapy, you literally, it's something like going through the process of Hulk changing of Bruce Banner changing into Hulk. It is like that. The pearl is green in color. It looks very radioactive green. I've got photos of it. I'm going to post it. I'm going to try to edit it on this vid and add the pictures of the radiation pearl. But before that, he explains to you how you've got to be isolated for 14 days at a time. No interaction with anybody. Your food is passed through a pigeonhole. You got to bath and shower 7 to 8 times a day. You've got to drink 6 liters of water a day for 14 days. So the radiation is completely flushed out of you. You've got to change your bedding every day. And you got to put it in an isolated plastic bag that's in the room with you. All your food is in cellophane that gets thrown in a disposable box. That comes in a disposable box, and the bin is in your room written radioactive. Everything around you is radioactive because of the pill that you take. And you can go in with your electronic equipment, and I used to take in my laptop and my printer because I used to work in isolation. I used to take in my dumbbells, and everything had to be in isolation with me. And 14 days alone in the room, in a room, with a shower cubicle and just your devices and electronics that you brought with you, and hospital food, and being radioactive wasn't a very interesting or attractive holiday for me. It wasn't going to be a very attractive thing. And when Dr. Essa explained this to me, I thought to myself, am I really going to be sitting in a room for 14 days alone, away from my wife, away from my kids, away from the gym, away from work? Okay, work, yeah, I was away from work, but laptop you could work. But I was away from my wife, my queen, my kids, and gym, and everything around you, my motorcycle, my freedom. And I was going to be imprisoned for 14 days. I was going to be radioactive for 14 days. What was Jude Manuel going to transform me into now? If Bruce Banner could transform into Hulk with gamma radiation, what was Jude Manuel going to transform into now? And that was the big question. And the transformation began at that point in time when I had to go in for my first radiation treatment, sitting in a corner cubicle of a room with my shower and my equipment for 14 days. Can you imagine that? Imprisonment. I can only understand, or can't even understand. I can only imagine what prisoners go through, living in a cell, being imprisoned and isolated for such a long time. It's amazing. But I'm here, and there's more to talk about, and there's more to say. But I got to get busy with these cookies before Jade wakes up, because I'd like to get it done so she could have some butter cookies for breakfast. The journey continues, and I'm eager to tell you this as much as I can express myself telling you this. Gotta love you and leave you. Till the next time, Uncle Jude out.